Hey, welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls. I'm your host. Listen, I am so freaking excited about who we have on the show today. If you guys don't know this gal, you need to follow her. Definitely follow her on Instagram. Her name is Emily Frisella. She's amazing. I hate saying this because she's such a badass all on her own, but she is married to Andy Frisella. And like I call them the dynamic duo. They're incredible. So without any more from me, I'm going to bring Emily on the screen. There she is. Hey, Emily.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Me.
Oh my God, I am so excited to have you on. You are I started following you, I don't know, probably a year or so ago on Instagram. And you crack me up. Like literally every time I watch your Instagram stories, I just either A, I'm laughing because the dogs are just incredible.
The dog narrative.
or B, I get really hungry because holy crap, you're always like cooking something awesome in the kitchen.
Thank you.
And I'll even text you like late at night. I'll be watching your IG story, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're making me so hungry! It's ridiculous."
And it worked. It worked. We eat with our eyes before we do anything else. So
it's awesome. So I tell you, I think everybody will learn quickly if they don't already follow you. But you're like one of the most humble and down to earth people I've ever known in my life. Like it's incredible. So especially with what you've accomplished in life, you have accomplished some amazing things that 99% of us will never experience. So I wanted you to come on because like I told you, this is a show. I'm sorry, I'm opening up Facebook on my phone.
Oh, you're good.
This is a show it's about helping people have a breakthrough to get unstuck. But I kind of like to set the stage with, where did it all start for you? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in a small town about an hour west of St. Louis on a farm. It was a row crop cattle farm. My dad was an entrepreneur my entire life. He owned trucking companies and brokerage firms. Wow. And so he worked during the day, and his office was an hour and 20-minute commute one way to and from work because it was in downtown St. Louis, which is where everything was happening then and where like the trucking hub was and everything. So I grew up with that. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She took care of me and my two other sisters. And, my dad was a big influence in my life as far as, with entrepreneurship and, seeing the way my mom took care of everything and the support that she always showed him and, never, it was just a very good dynamic because people ask Andy and I all the time about like balance and stuff, but like I grew up with that influence in my life of, I don't know a 9-to-5 type of lifestyle.
Right.
It's been like an entrepreneurship where it means like there are no real hours.
Right.
And then when I was 19, I bought a house in the next town over. And then when I was 20, I bought a building, the property and the land, and opened my first brick and mortar, which was a flower shop, gift boutique, and did tuxedo rentals and wedding rentals and things like that. And I owned that for several years. And then I decided one day I was going to sell it, the building, the land, the business, everything. And I signed the papers, and it was sold in 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it sold in 3 hours. And then it was like the ink wasn't even dry, I don't think, on the real estate contract. And then I moved to St. Louis, and I worked as an accounting and operations manager for a graphic design firm. And then in February 2015, I'd been writing my cookbook for about 2 years, just kind of like a side gig, that I knew that one day I wanted to publish it. And then Andy and I were speaking, it was like in December of 2014, about me leaving my career to pursue what I love full time. And we both agreed that would be, a good move for me. So right after Christmas, I gave 60 days notice to my career because I needed to train, hire new people and train new people to take over what I was doing.
Right.
And then in February 2015, I started doing what I do now full time. So
You and what you do full time is unbelievable. But I want to back up a little bit
Sure.
because one of the things that I like to kind of discover is, it seems like there's always some sort of a and I if I had to guess, I think I'd be accurate, but I'm going to let you answer this. Um, as a child growing up, we almost always have somebody that influences us, or a happening, an event that occurs that like influences who we become as an adult.
Yeah.
Anything pop in your head there?
Oh, it's my dad. I mean, you got to think, because he was an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
he just, he did very well as far as, the business side, running our farm, keeping the family happy. And I owe, I owe so much to him and my mom, because not only for having me, but like the way that they raised me to show me that, what's possible and, what's out there.
Right.
And, there wasn't the internet when I was a kid. We didn't have, computers until I was a sophomore in high school. So I didn't have like what kids have nowadays, of looking online and seeing these people that you have as like mentors or role models. But honestly, even had I had that accessibility, it would still have been my dad, because I saw the real world, like what it takes, and that there is no real start or stop time. And like, I saw what was capable, and what he could do by owning his own businesses and doing what he loved, and, how it provided for our family and stuff. So my dad was my biggest, influence and role model growing up.
Wow. And you watched your mom support him.
Oh, absolutely. She supported him. I mean, my mom was like a superwoman. You know what I mean? Like our
Yeah.
house, raising three girls, and we're only 5 years apart. So we were all involved in select sports, teams, volleyball. We'd have piano lessons. We'd have guitar lessons. We'd have everything. And she was always on the go, because my dad would get up at 5 and would come home at 7 at night, eat dinner, and then have to go to the farm for 2 or 3 hours to check on the cattle and do any work and feed them and everything like that.
Wow.
So she was like kind of like a one-man show a lot of times. But she always made sure the house was clean. Dinner was made. Like we always had home cooked meals. And that's why I love cooking, is because I learned so much from her, because she taught me how to cook, her and my grandma's.
Wow.
So it's just it's really cool to see that, because, I get a lot of direct messages on Instagram and Facebook asking like, how do you do it when your husband's an entrepreneur and he does this and that? Like, the thing is I almost feel like I have an unfair advantage, because it truly is all I know. I can't relate, and I try to convey that. Like, I can't relate to what it's like to be with someone that's a 9 to 5, come home and you have your weekends totally free, or you have your evenings after 5 o'clock totally free. Like, I've never known that in my entire life. So I actually wouldn't know what it would be like. But I try to, let these people know, like, what you're doing, or what your husband's doing, or, whoever it is in your life that is an entrepreneur that you're wondering about, like these structured times and such, that, they're doing something that's impacting your life as well. It's not a selfish act. They are working out there to provide for their employees, for, the people that, use their products or use their brand, and make sure that they have a great experience. Everything is going to help you as well. So why would you not want to do that? That's like getting mad at like biting the hand that feeds you, essentially.
Right.
So, I mean, it truly is. I mean, you're pretty much a jerk if you're going to ride somebody's ass for working hard. I mean, they could be out at the bar or something else, you know
Right.
what I mean? But they're choosing to work to provide a life for you, and vice versa. So,
Right. And I heard you talking about that on that podcast yesterday.
oh, yes.
I shared that on Facebook. That was
Oh,
an
I saw
awesome
that.
podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun.
But that's, and that's, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and I mean, since I was like 7,
Yeah.
I grew up in farm country as well. In fact, we have 5 acres here, but out on the backside of our property is a cattle farm.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, you hear them at night. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm trying to sleep. Stop it. So,
Yeah.
but I think that as an entrepreneur, we take risks that don't make sense
Mhm.
to most people, right? And not only do they not make sense, we'll like kill ourselves working towards the goal. And I know that you're familiar with that. There's no guarantees in this whole deal at all. And so when so you went through high school and I assume you were in the St. Louis area the whole time, right?
No, I went to high school out in the farm community.
Oh, okay. What about college? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went, and it was out there actually as well. So I played volleyball in college. I went for business management and horticulture. And then a couple years after I graduated, I was managing a gym at the time. After I sold my flower shop, I was helping a friend manage her gym while she was, going through some stuff in life. And then I went down to Baylor to get certified in exercise physiology and kinesiology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
so
Lord.
it was just a certification. It wasn't a degree, but I went down there for a few weeks and got certified and came back.
Wow. What don't you do? That might be a shorter conversation.
Okay, so.
Right. I love that. Holy moly. Good Lord. So you went to college, and what was next after college? What'd you choose? Well, I mean, you had the.
Actually, I was going to college for my bachelor's, but I already owned my business at the time. So I actually just stopped after my associate's degree because I was already owning my own business. So I'm taking business management classes when I'm already owning my own business.
Right.
It didn't, you know what I mean? Like it really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So then I stopped,
Wow.
just working on my business. And then, I just was writing the cookbook, and then I have, ebooks coming out. I'm hosting the first Women in Business workshop. I'm really excited about in the fall. It's going to be kind of like a mastermind type of thing for women. It's going to be only about 25 women are tickets available, and just to help women overall, because I get a lot of questions from women as far as like, raising kids and, which I don't know anything about. I have dogs. But they ask about, the kid aspect or like, the marriage aspect. They ask so many things. So I have a panel of women that can speak on every single topic that are successful entrepreneurial women in the workforce. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. And just so everybody knows, this cookbook, is it on screen? This thing is legit. It is absolutely legit. My wife loves it. In fact, you can see it's kind of tattered.
I like that. My next one's coming out in about a month and a half, so it'll be out soon.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yep, it's almost done.
Well, we have I think this is a signed copy. I believe it is. But then, I don't want to spend a lot of time plugging your husband, but like these are incredible books.
Yes.
Our little girl loves these books. So, you guys are just like, you're just freaking badasses. I don't know how else to put it. Like you got, and I see you, you're always busy. And I love that.
Productive. I'm productive.
Productive. I know. I was showing Jill last night, my wife, I was showing her, your IG story. Like you prep your dog's food.
Yeah, I've been doing that about 3 years now. It helps with their allergies and their weight, because Charlie lost like 20 pounds and Otis lost like 14 pounds. Because, all the dog foods on the market are like over 60% carbohydrates, and dogs need think about what dogs eat in the wild. It'd be like deer carcasses, and like they eat like a ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
So I put the dogs on an essentially like a ketogenic diet. And 3 years ago, and they just dropped their weight. They're so much healthier. Their skin's shinier. They don't shed as much. They breathe easier. They lost their weight.
Wow.
So yeah, and people ask a lot of questions about that, but I have a video up on my YouTube how to do dog meal prep. But yeah, I've been doing that about 3 years now.
Have you really? That is incredible.
Yeah.
So, my wife she was the global VP of marketing for a huge, one of the largest pet companies in the world, and so she's like so freaking anal about like what we feed the dog. I'm like, like she buys, we don't do that yet, but she said it last night. She goes, "Oh, cool, I'll start." I said, "Oh my God." So, but like, it's already like $100 for a bag of dog food that she buys.
But here's the thing is the way that I do theirs, it only cost me $2 more a month to make their food than it was to buy the high end stuff. Because we were buying like the really high end food, and they were just gaining weight off of it, even though we would like minimize how much they were eating and everything else. So nothing worked. So like the prepping for the dogs was kind of almost like like a last ditch effort to see like, can we get the weight off of them? Because they were only a year old and they were like little potatoes with legs, and we knew it was like not going to be healthy for them down the road. So we wanted to like take control of that, just like a human, you want to take control of, your weight before it gets too late, and you're like, you feel like it's a cause. So it worked. So we just stick with it.
we have a golden retriever and a Welsh corgi. And the Welsh corgi is a potato.
It's potatoes, and they are potato by nature.
She's a bit, we call her portly. She's a bit portly. So, she is. She's talk about attitude. So, thus far in life, what would you say is the greatest life lesson you've learned so far?
Oh man. Well, I think because if you listen to that podcast yesterday I was on, it's all about ego. When I say I owned my first business and I was 20 years old, I was all about wanting this like beautiful boutique. It was very high end products. It was not inexpensive. It was very, you couldn't buy a pair of socks in our town. And I was like, there's nothing like it. So I wanted to have like this like luxury gift boutique. And I put so much money and time into stocking my shelves and making it gorgeous, and not enough time studying the business. And I started my business in the fall, and you had all these holidays, like you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, prom, Easter, all these holidays people are buying tons of flowers for. And I never knew, because I didn't take time to learn the business first, and I was 20 years old, that guess what? Summertime, people don't buy flowers. So business went from here to here really fast.
Oh, Lord.
And I had 6 full-time employees, and I owed my mortgage to for the business, the building and the land and stuff. And I got down to where I had $42.86 in my bank account one day, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, it was this most terrifying moment, because I was just like sick and not knowing business, because my dad allowed me to make mistakes. Like, he let me fall on my face to be able to get up and be stronger about it. But I was just like, this is it. I got to close the doors now. I'm like, I'm going like over analyzing, like I got to close this, blah, blah. So then I had to, of course, use some of my own money to fund the business for a while to get back on solid footing, because I just was so worried about, like, I wanted to make sure that people knew that I had all this great stuff, and I was so busy putting so much money into like the look of it instead of actually just like learning the basics and like being responsible with it. So then it took a while to build that back up. And then, by the time I sold it, it was a very strong 6-figure company, which was good at the time, because it was a small town. It was like 2,000 people. But to build it back up before I sold it. So that was the biggest lesson, because it made me realize, like, okay, you can't play what's at face value. You have to play, you know what I mean? You have to take everything into account, and it was just a scary time, but it was only, it was like probably an 8-hour freak out moment, but that 8 hours changed the entire trajectory of everything I did, thus far. So.
You said freak out moment. I know. It is. Been there, done it.
It was trying to be cool in the face of your employees, but you're sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how am I going to get out of this? And they're like, are you okay? I'm like, oh yeah, I just stressed about your upcoming wedding or some bullshit. I just tried to cover it up while I'm really like, what the fuck? These people aren't going to have a job. But luckily, nobody got fired. Everything was good and made it out alive.
I in my book, I tell a story of back when I first started my company. I had one employee, a graphic designer that worked for me, and I couldn't make payroll this one week. And this buddy of mine, his father started a company. They do around $100 million a year now. And I called his father and I said, I'm not calling you for a loan. I'm calling to, like, what's the secret to all this shit? This is insane. I have one employee that makes $500 a week and I can't pay him. And he goes, Ken, there's no secret. It's you just stay in the ring. You keep running, you keep fighting, you keep swinging, and you don't let the fucking tiger catch you.
Right. That's good advice. Well, it's funny, Andy and I talk about how we feel like every single person should work but they should own a business and work in food service at one point in their life, because you'll have an appreciation so much deeper for people because you're on that end. Because so many people think you own a business that you're just like rolling, you know what I mean? They don't realize how much stress goes into it and how much you're just like you said, like, am I going to be able to make payroll this week? And just, all the behind the scenes things. And there's a lot, you deal with a lot of stress and a lot of bullshit. And it's like, it's hard. And, same thing with the food service industry. People don't realize how hard that can be for waiters, for servers and things like that. There's a lot to that as well. So that's two careers I feel like people should always go into.
Well, and I saw you, or on Andy's Instagram stories, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and it just really stood out to me. And you guys were walking into a gym, maybe?
Oh, yeah, we're going to the gym. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Okay, and you were picking up trash that was laying on the sidewalk.
That's crazy. I pick up trash every single time I walk in there.
And he said it. He's like, this is what you do when you're, I forget exactly how he put it, but I was like, that's what you do. That's what and I commented on your story once, like, you were pushing shopping carts out of the way that lazy asses left in the middle of the parking lot.
Pet peeve.
But see, that's what I mean. That's like, the average person, and I mean average, that doesn't actually ever make anything, and sorry if I'm offending anybody on here, but the truth is the truth. And the average person will just say, let an employee get that cart. I'm not getting it.
But you know what happens with that average person is they don't move the cart, and guess what happens? They come out one day and have a cart door ding, and they cuss the world because a shopping cart went into their door.
Exactly.
That's karma. That's laziness.
That's karma
coming back.
That's right.
Put shopping carts away.
And pick up trash.
Yes.
Pick up trash. If you're walking in, you see, my wife does that too. I know she does. I do it if I notice it. But I mean, if more people would stop being so freaking self-centered and selfish, that's the secret. That is the secret to success in life.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can sit back and you can watch people do that, because Andy does that as well. Like, we'll be walking in, and I've seen him when I'm in the gym, and because we have all these windows in the front, I could see him, and he'll walk in, and I'll see him pick up a piece of trash in front. You put it in the trash can, you go and wash your hands, you go on with your business. Right. You know what I mean? It literally took 10 seconds out of your life. But, that 10 seconds shows a lot about a person, I feel like.
Yes. Jill's on here. She said cart corrals.
Corrals. You know what else with that? Side note. Now, they have the little shopping carts now and the big ones?
Yeah.
I think it's pathetic. They have to have, like, on the cart corral, they have a label that says large carts and small carts. Like, why wouldn't you just know to, like, separate them? Like, my dad always said common sense is not common.
That is so true. That is so true. By the way, I'm going to put your Amazon link to your cookbook on this afterwards. I'm going to go back and edit it so people can get your cookbook, because I think that my wife freaking loves it. Look, I'm going to be real. I don't cook a lot. I do steaks on the grill, things like that. But so for anybody that is struggling, and we know that there's we know, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments, I gotta stop, because somebody just put an angry face about people not putting the carts away.
What that is, I like that person.
Yeah, that's Dan the Waterman. Yeah, so for somebody that's stuck, and we've all been there. I'm a recovered alcoholic of 16 years of sobriety, and I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life, and had to recover from it. But there are things that most people say, look, if you're stuck, do this, boom, boom, boom. If you're stuck with $46, is it $46 or $42?
Yeah.
$46 or $0 to your name. What would you tell that person to do immediately?
Okay, well, first of all, I feel like the word stuck is a choice. There's always some movement that you can make to move past that. You're not if you're stuck financially, first thing you do is you go through your budget. I mean, a lot of people don't keep a budget, and I feel like it's something important no matter what amount of, income that you have to have some sort of like budget. So if people say, oh, I'm stuck. Well, go through, what do you have? What can you cut out? What can you fucking sell to, improve your financial status? Because people, they don't want to let go. They just want to have the money to buy more instead of realizing, well, I can have that, but I'm going to have to let go of this.
Right.
Stuck is a mindset. I feel like, there's internet, everybody now, I feel like no matter what their income level is, has a smartphone. You can get online, you can start, researching, you can read more. I feel like being stuck is a choice. You choose to do that, and you choose to stay at that, at that level, and like almost like a pity party, instead of trying to be resilient and realize like, okay, you know what? This fucking sucks. I don't want to feel this way anymore. What can I do to improve my situation? The first thing you need to do is just assess your situation. Why are you stuck? What are you feeling? And don't be mad or about your feelings. And people sometimes, if they're trying to talk to like their spouse or a friend, they are trying to, convey their feelings, and their friends are saying their feelings back about what the issue is. Feelings are facts. You can't argue facts that someone has. So it's important that you actually like try to be open-minded when someone's trying to help you, because they're trying to feel what you are, and they're stating facts as to what they would do in your, in your position. So it's important you stay open-minded like that, and just take action. I mean, that's really, there's no magic thing. Nobody can say like, do X, Y, Z and you'll be unstuck. It's just fucking do something. Whatever your problem is, look for a answer, look for a resolve. Everybody has the common sense to realize if you don't have money, you can't spend anymore. So what do you do to make more money? You do something. You know what I mean? You sell something, you create something, you go out and sell lemonade to the kid. I don't know. You can do anything,
Right.
like it's all a mindset,
It is.
They say stuck, but really it's just a mindset of comparison to others. They fall in that pit of comparison to where they feel stuck because other people are doing something, whereas they're not. It's almost like it's a like lack of self-confidence to feel stuck because they're not doing something to help propel them forward.
Well, and that lack of self-confidence goes down the longer you sit and do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes like if you do nothing, your self-confidence is going to continue to go down. It's just like, like you're a very fit, right? And I don't know how else to say that, but you're very in shape. And that magically happens for you, right? Like you can eat anything you want and you don't have to go to the gym or anything, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I think is so. Or people say, or in any aspect, people tell Andy he's lucky. Like, no, he's been busting his ass for 20 years.
Right.
What he's doing, they don't see everything that goes on. They just see the finished product, the polished product. You don't see. When you see a sculpture, you're like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. But you don't think about that. It was just a block at one time. And it's like hours and hours of, sweat going into carving this beautiful sculpture. Yeah. Same thing with anything with, fitness, business, financially related. Those people, everything is work every single day. Yeah. Would I like to eat anything I can? Hell yeah, who wouldn't? And the people that have great metabolism can do that, I fucking hate them. But it's like something where, it's just like anything. It's consistency, and it takes work to do, whatever you want to achieve. And, it's the same practice in any walk of life, wherever you're trying to be successful. It takes practice, it takes dedication, and it takes that everyday effort.
Yep. I agree. I totally agree with you. And so, what is the biggest mistake that you see people make? Because I see it, and there's a lot of them. But what's the biggest one that you see people making in life that keeps them stuck?
In business wise?
In business or life, just life.
I think just in life, I see people being stuck. I honestly feel like it's comparison, because it's like, I know it's so cliche, but it's like, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's true, because so many people compare themselves to others where they don't even give themselves time to set themselves apart to realize, what do I like? What can I make better? What can I do? They just consume content and regurgitate it as their own. And they fail because it's not necessarily, I don't feel like there's any sort of industry that's saturated, because you can always do something to stand out.
Right.
But they just want to copy everyone else instead of realizing what their true potential and their gift is, to let that, stand out, and to actually take that leap. Because if let's say I compared myself to Martha Stewart or Rachel Ray, and I felt like, damn, like they've got TV shows, they've got all these cookbooks, they've got, they're on Food Network, they've got this, they got that. I would have never ever written my cookbook or even got into this industry. However, it's realization that that I personally have not written a cookbook, so I'm going to do that, and to set yourself apart that way and find what makes yourself unique. That's what my cookbook. It's a clean eating comfort food, and there's not one out there like that. So that's why I wanted to write it, because it's my story. It's something different, Yeah. So I feel like people just need to. It's just the comparison. It's just people are so obsessed with everyone else. Like, there's voyeurism is such a thing, and they just want to watch other people and mimic that instead of tap into their own creativity and their own gifts.
And I know you see it. I see it. These kids, and I heard you talk about it a little bit on the podcast you were on yesterday. And it's these, and I say kids. I'll be 50 in July, so everybody's starting to become a kid all of a sudden. Holy shit! but the like that are leasing these and I know you guys have some amazing cars and stuff, but like you can afford them. Like, there's people out there leasing freaking cars that are $400,000 vehicles, and they have no business for what purpose?
Right. It's because it's this high gloss world of Instagram, and they feel like that's going to get them accreditation, and people are going to want to purchase their product or to follow them because they see this. But the reality is, it's like they're burying themselves. I use that as a comparison to me at 20 buying all the shit from my boutique when really I couldn't have afforded that. You know what I mean? Right. And so it's the same kind of like thing in a different time frame. That was 15 years ago that happened with me, So it's something now. That's what people do, is that they're not even just leasing them, they're renting them. They rent them for photo shoots, or they rent these jets that sit on the runway, but they get inside of them and act like they're, chilling, going to across the world, and
I know.
it's so false to people. And like, Andy's very proven. He's done his work, and with his academy and everything like that, he's going to be able to truly impact people and teach them how to do it. Yeah. Where a lot of people, Andy and I talk about it, they make their money off of telling people how to do it when they've never done a damn thing. And that's like I spoke yesterday on that podcast. It irritates me because they might charge X amount of dollars for these courses when people are so hopeful. People want hope. A lot of times they don't care about results. They just want hope, and they crave that hope that they spend their rent money or their utility money or whatever it is on that last bit of hope to try to like change their financial status or, their what kind of success they have. And then by these people, that's like, there's no ethics in it whatsoever, because you're saying, hey, I don't care what your financial status is. Give me all your money. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to work, and it's all on you then. Yeah. It just burns me.
Oh, I know. I know. I see it. And I do some coaching myself with people, and like, dude, if you can't afford it, don't do it. I mean, go mow some yards or rake some leaves or pull weeds and some, whatever. I mean, do something, make the money, and chances are you're not even going to need a coach if you just start hustling your ass off. So, and so what, and this, we're just about finished here. I don't want to keep you all day. I know you're busier than hell, but, well, I know you are. But what is next for you? I mean, you've got so many things going. By the way, my wife has that same watch. I got it for her for Christmas.
Apple Watch. I love it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much, but it is nice because one day my phone just completely quit working, and I was able to still text. And Andy was traveling, so I didn't want him to worry because we usually stay in contact like at night and in the morning to say, hey, what's up? And I was like, I knew he'd be worried because we don't have a house phone, so I was able to still text from it. So I was like, okay, I'm sold already.
That's awesome. He's funnier than hell. I saw a post. He was on a private jet the other day, and he posted a picture with his feet up or something. Yeah. He said, "This is my I forget what it was."
Got the fake money because he always makes fun of people that like rent the jets and and then they have you can buy prop money off of Amazon, and it says. Yeah. Instead of like "In God We Trust" or whatever on the actual $100 bills, it says movie money, not for. It says something on it, and he had bought some because they were like playing with it, and he was like, it's like a big joke because they're making like little spoofs about it because that's what people do. They see, all this money, but it's like, that's actually fake money. You can buy it for like $10 for 100 stack or something like that on Amazon.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
All smoke and mirrors.
So yeah, it is. A lot of it truly is. So what's next for you?
Well, I've got the next cookbooks coming out. I have 4 ebooks coming out this year, new websites launching. I've been kind of like not putting a lot of stuff on my current website because the new one is coming out, and it's like a pain in the ass to convert everything. My web guy will probably hate me. And then I have an ambassador search that's going to get ready to start to have some ambassadors for the company, and then which fit home and health, and then hosting the Women in Business workshop in the fall, and I'll be doing also a retreat in October, and I'll be in Canada in Toronto doing a women's workshop in September.
Wow!
And I'm trying to think. I've got the 3rd cookbook started, and hopefully that'll be out next spring. So just lots of little things. I got some more restaurants I've been doing some private menus for in Canada, and then also out west. So
isn't there like a rib joint or something, barbecue joint locally?
I have some restaurant menus here locally, but yeah, there's one called the Honey Pit that I work with, and then Billy G's and Kirkwood I work with a lot. They're just like our favorite places to go. But yeah, I create healthy menu options for them with like the full nutrition panel. So people because that's a big thing is like in the fitness world, people, they go out to dine, but they don't know what's in the food, what they can eat, or how to log it into their food tracker. So I partner up with these restaurants, and I create private menus for them to feature and So
you don't have a whole lot happening then.
No, pretty much sit at home and eat bonbons and watch like soap opera.
That is so funny. Listen, I gotta tell everybody on here, if you're not following Emily Frisella on Instagram, follow her, because I'm telling you, she puts out. Emily, I think you are definitely my favorite IG stories.
Thank you.
I mean, until you get into the clothing and the nails and makeup.
I'm doing something with skin later, so you don't watch.
Yeah, I fast forward through those, but I love the ones of you talking about health and nutrition and food in the kitchen, and the dogs are just, they crack me up. Oh my God. There's actually, Otis has his own Instagram account.
Yeah, the Daily Otis. Yeah, I post all.
And you, I mean, I just broke 1,700 followers on Instagram. I was like, yay! But I think Otis has a lot more than me.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because one of my followers, she owns a company, a boutique, and she had a shirt that said, "My dog has more followers than you." And somebody tagged me. I'm like, I gotta get that. That's just too funny. So I have that.
It. I got depressed for a while.
I think he's almost at like 6,000 followers now or something like that. But it's funny because the books are like the kids version, but then I put sometimes the dogs like curse, because Otis is like a little asshole and Charlie's so sweet. So like more of their personalities and like curse words shine. So it's like the Instagram is more of like the adult version for the.
You're posting pictures of him with the thought bubbles, and he's going,
yeah.
Why are you taking photos of me?
Yeah, bitch, why are you taking photos of me?
That's so funny.
It's pathetic. Those dogs know they're on camera. I can count to 3, and when I hit 3, they both tilt their head. I say 1, 2, and they go like that, and they pose for their pictures. It's pathetic.
That's insane. It's so awesome because honestly, like I've said to you before, I don't think I've ever seen any dog with personality the way that Otis has got, like this old grumpy curmudgeon-y kind of like.
Yeah, I know, and he'll be 5 in October when we tease like he's gonna be the grumpiest old dog, because he's been that way. He's been grumpy since he was like a baby, so we can't imagine what he's gonna be like when he's old, because he does his. We swear that dog he's human in a dog body, because you said that to me in a DM. You go, do I dare say he's a dog, because he's like human. And it's true.
I'm like, what the heck? This dog is not a dog. It's human. So everybody go out. First off, follow Emily on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, well, okay. I don't put out as cool content as she does. So our dogs don't have personality that great. But make sure you go out and get her cookbook. It's called... Let me see. Fresh Farmhouse Kitchen by Emily Frisella. I hope everybody can see that.
Yeah, you
so go out and get her cookbook. Andy has a couple of great children's books. that are really, really good. I showed those earlier as well. So, Emily, I am so grateful for you coming on here. This was a
Thank
blast.
you so much. I appreciate you having me.
I knew it would be fun. So, you want to tell everybody real quick how they can find you? Go.
Sure. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook is Emily Frisella. Fit Home and Health on Facebook as well. It's where I post my recipes and things like that. Website is Fit Home and Health. And also Food in Session podcast. That's my nutrition podcast that I have on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify.
You are a freaking rock star. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you to everybody who came on and liked this, shared it, everything. My wife is on here. She's saying our dogs do have personality. I disagree. Not like Otis. But anyway,
Instagram. We need to check it out.
And she said, such a great cookbook. She loves your cookbook. So
thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot.
It's amazing. So thank you for coming on. We will see you guys later. Thank you so much. And we are out of here. Peace out.